Have you ever wondered why real estate agents have a bad reputation? Stay tuned to this video. I'm going to give you the 5 reasons why real estate agents have a bad reputation and how to avoid this type of agent at all costs. Hi, Kevin Yoder, team leader of Yoder Real Estate, bringing to you valuable information about all things real estate and living and working in the Grand Rapids, Michigan area that you cannot find anywhere else. And if you like this video, make sure you like it and subscribe to it so that you can see more content just like this. The number one reason why real estate agents have a bad reputation, right up at the top, if you study any industry, it would be the same thing. In this case, it happens to be in real estate, is that it's a very low barrier of entry industry, which means it's easy to get into. Now, you can get a Groupon right now. I just Googled it before I came onto this video. You can get into real estate. You ready? Here's the number, 99 bucks. $99. That's how much it costs to get your real estate license. So it's a 40-hour class. It's on Groupon right now. Go to your city, USA, and type that in. Just type in Groupon real estate course, and you'll see that it's about $99. Now, the challenge with that is that having a license doesn't equal experience. That's like stage 1 of, say, it's not even base camp. It's like stage 1, I would say, a million stages that an agent can go through to master their craft and to get better at what they do. It doesn't equal experience. It's like saying that I can walk out to my mailbox and get the mail, and that's the same as being a marathon runner. Doesn't really work that way, does it? So that's the challenge. Low barrier of entry, say that a million times, industry tends to produce a place where there's a lot of folks that are, let me go to the next one here, part-time. So that's the second one. The second reason why real estate agents get a bad name is that there's a lot of part-time agents. And I'm not a big advocate of that for the following reason, because when you do something 5 or 6 times a year, it doesn't give you the experience to have enough transactions to help enough people. In other words, there's so many things happening. Real estate's changing, interest rates changing. There's so many nuances, and I'm on the front lines of this each and every day, and I get to see what it's like to work with an agent that doesn't sell a lot of homes. They miss things. Now, I'm not missing those same things for my clients, but they're missing them for their clients, which is unfortunate, because here's the thing. How often does a seller sell a house? About every 7 or 8 years is how often we make our moves. And when that happens, there's a lot of equity at stake. And that equity is super important because you can carry that on through to your next house. And the bigger problem is that you don't even know if you were shortchanged $10,000. You won't even know it, because it's not, and I'll get to that in a minute as far as the metrics go, but it's not like it's gonna be obvious, because you could have sold your house for full price and you could say, yes, I did it. But guess what? Another agent could have applied a slightly different formula, spent slightly more money, and was a stronger negotiator because they actually spent the money to take negotiation courses and is a trained expert negotiator. You get where I'm going with this, and that means the money's going to be more, okay? So that's the other thing, is how different would it be then, rather than selling 5 or 6 homes, if your agent sold hundreds of homes, 100 plus, maybe 150 times like we did last year, in 1 year tends to create a kind of an incubator for a course correction and improvement each and every time. And the third reason why agents have a bad reputation, the number one complaint that sellers have about their agent, whether they sold or not. In other words, there's an expired listing and it didn't sell. If it did sell, they still have the same complaint, and it comes down to communication. Communication, the lack of communication. Not enough communication, not enough upfront communication. So here's the formula for making sure that you're being communicated with properly, that I adopt and I teach others to do the same. Number 1 is tell the client what you're going to do. Number 2, tell them that you're doing it. And number 3, tell them what you did. Number 3.5, how did I do? So there's the formula up front, what I'm gonna do for you. Number 2 is, here's what we're doing together. Number 3 is, here's what I did. And then 3.5 or 4 would be, how did I do? Gathering feedback, how can I improve the process? Number 4, the fourth reason is knowledge, a lack of knowledge. The annual continuing education course is basically what most agents take every year, and they say that they're keeping themselves up to date with the industry. That's the most they're taking. Now, the problem with this is that that's not enough. That's just basic legal. We're talking about nuances here. We're talking about negotiating. We're talking about marketing strategies. We're talking about ways to get the seller, if we're talking to a seller in that relationship, more money. and get the buyer into their dream home. And these are strategies, and this takes applied knowledge. Reading and research. How often? Every day. You should be reading 30 days in your industry. If you're an agent, you should be reading more than you are. Better inputs here, better outputs here, and then applied knowledge. Because when we learn something and we go out in the field every day and we're super active with it, we then have learned. We can apply it to the next situation. We can test it. We are our own, stomping grounds for testing information, which allows us to show up better for our clients. Number 5, the 5th reason why agents have a negative or a bad reputation is results. This isn't talked about enough. It is talked about in other industries, like an attorney is known for their results. I get people off the hook, or I get you this, or I get you that. Who else? Doctors, they measure things beyond just saving a life. A CPA or an accountant, they can talk about how I'm going to save you more money on your taxes. But the real estate agent, typically the seller is using different metrics to decide who they're going to use. And those metrics are typically feeling. How do I feel? I like or I don't like, or I know or I don't know. The challenge with that is there's ways that you can measure just so you know if you're getting the right one or not, that you're not gonna, that doesn't have a bad reputation. What are those metrics in real estate so you can lay it all on the table and analyze it as a home seller, for example? Number 1, and I'm speaking to this home seller right now. Home buyers have a completely other one. Let's stick with this for a minute. Number 1, sales price list price ratio. What does that mean? If you list a home for this price, it sells for this price relative to the list price. That number is trackable. Guess what? It's a metric, because if you know that your agent that you're going to hire is selling homes for 108% of list price, and the other agent that you thought about hiring is selling homes for, by the way, they probably don't know their own number, 93%, ooh, that's a huge spread. You know, that could be an extra 10% or more on your net proceeds. What's another one? Days on the market. Tracking days on the market, because it does matter. Your days on the market, the longer you're on the market, it sucks the value out of your house. And so the longer you sit on the market, the less your home is going to sell for. This is tracked, this is a fact, this is not an opinion. You can look at all the days on the market, you'll see price reduction, sold at a very low price. The other thing is that we can track homes sold. Not as a standalone, like how many homes did you sell last year? This is just one data point, but it's an important one, because go back to the beginning when I talked about the part-time agents selling 5 or 6 homes. If you have an agent that's selling a lot of properties every year, say 40, 50, 60, or over 100, they're in the game. They're not in the court, they're not in the sidelines, they're actually on the court playing the game of real estate. And that's a big deal. So number of homes sold. And finally, Google reviews. And I'm going to stack all these together for you in a second. Google reviews. So you have, how did you sold my home for what percentage relative to list price? How long did it take? How many times did you do that every year or last year? And finally, how did you do? What a great measure to make sure that you're not hiring the wrong agent. And notice that nowhere in here, okay, maybe it's a 4.5. Is are they related to me? No, bad metric. How about they're my neighbor? Bad metric. How about I think I ran into somebody at an open house? Maybe, but how about those other things first? Sales price, list price ratio, days on the market, how many homes sold, and finally Google reviews. There should be a lot, by the way. If you're selling a lot of homes and people are super happy and they're going out to the world and telling the world about their experience, that's what's going to happen. If an agent's not selling a lot of homes, there's not going to be a lot of reviews. And if they are, guess what? Sometimes people just are like, I'm not going to even go there, right? So pay attention to those 4 metrics. So those are the 5 reasons why real estate agents mostly have a bad reputation. If you want to talk about how to align yourself with an agent in a team that actually has a great reputation, sales price, list price ratio high, days on the market low, excellent communication skills, selling a lot of properties, extremely knowledgeable, spending a lot of time researching to make sure that we're bringing the best of ourselves to the equation, and we're applying this knowledge so that you have a better overall experience. And by the way, because of all that, we get great results and a lot of client reviews. If you want to connect with us, make sure, and by the way, if you like this type of video, you want to know the truth, I'm bringing the realness to real estate. If you want to know the realness about real estate, come back here. How do you do that? Subscribe and like this video and share it with somebody who needs to know the truth, because that's what we're here to do today. Not just today, every day, is bring the truth. And connect with us at Yoder Real Estate, yoderrealestate.com, and we'll make sure we come back with more realness for you.